I'm looking at, social media, and I'm also looking at, how the gender wars keeps going back and forth. And
Mhm.
I'm kind of getting to the point where, people say they're tired of it, and more people are kind of falling away from it. But at the same time, it doesn't look like it's going anywhere. It just looks like it's an opportunity it's like, I feel like every time somebody gets hurt, they jump in the gender wars. It just seems like a lot of hurt people.
Social media has become a battleground between black men and black women. From feminism, misandry, misogynistic behavior, the gender wars. I mean, it's just all over the place. It's all over the place.
And
And
then
it's
But you know what?
ongoing.
I used to
But you
fight
know
it,
what?
but I used to fight it, and I used to fight it, and I would see wrong, and all I ended up getting was jumped on and things like that. Oh, it's none of your business. You don't pay my bills. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, but sis, I mean, I'm just saying. He said you was cute. Didn't mean you had to throw a whole bikini pic up in that joint.
But you
But
know what?
social media made that the norm.
Yeah.
The Instagram models. It's the norm now. Everybody, well, and I say everybody with quotations, everybody wants to be an Instagram model these days. This is what they're showing, showing these young women. And
Hmm.
sadly, it's not only the young women, it's the older women. And like
Yeah.
I had said before in our last live, it's the
Yeah.
older women competing against the young women,
Wow.
mothers competing against their daughters.
Wow.
It's just unfortunate, and it's how it is.
But a
Mm.
lot of that, but a lot of that's just a reflection of self-hate, inferiority complex.
Mm-hmm.
So when we look at things in a deeper way, psychological, all that is just reflecting that the trauma that Black Americans have from slavery, and we taking out our frustrations on each other.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And the gender war is feeding this. Is the see we don't want to address the white man. We can't address the white supremacy. We
Right.
can't address the government and white supremacy. We can't fight them. We
You're
don't
right.
have
The
the
model, the model's
finance,
huge.
the leadership, the money, the weapons. We don't have that to fight against white supremacy and systemic racism. So we take out our frustration with each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The black woman is fighting with the black man, saying he's not a provider. Well, the reason why the black man is not the provider that he should be,
Mm-hmm.
because systemically you've been what boycotted,
Right.
red line
Mm-hmm.
from economics, right?
Right.
So black people don't what overpower white people.
Mm-hmm.
So when we start dealing with the internal issues, why we have problems, where is the root of it coming from?
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll be able to address them. And we gotta, real talk. Real talk is black people need to start talking about making curriculum, having conversations about how to overthrow white supremacy control over black people. Then we're gonna start noticing when we're able to do that, being independent from the government, and meaning being independent from white supremacy,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
We start what coping with, not coping. We start dealing with our issues, because as long as we don't deal with our trauma from slavery, sick people, ill people cannot function as normal people, meaning that we can't govern ourselves.
Right. As soon as we have our own communities, as soon as we have our own healthcare, and we have these type of areas for us to work within, then we can start working on these things. But as long as we're within that structure that the white man has, it's going to be very difficult for us to be able to look at those issues seriously. I mean, sometimes I think another thing too is I think people don't realize that we have a different psychology. We don't have the same. That's why we can't necessarily go to anyone if we need help. Because you're not only are you unpacking, like you said, years of slavery, and you're unpacking that institution that's been built through generations, through your grandparents, and then your mother, and you watched your mother and your father go through this, and then now you're going through this as a result of what they went through, and they don't realize generationally it goes back so far. So then when you go to an outsider outside of the community to talk to them about your problems, they're looking at what you're currently going through and not really understanding that this is a generational issue within the black community, and understanding that not only that, but we have a different psychology of how we see things, how we view things, how we expect outcomes to happen. Not everybody is just built the same. I'm just sorry if people are offended by that point. It just is what it is. But we are not the same. We do not think the same. It just will not be that way. So we need people within our own community who are therapists, counselors, and those of the like to be able to relate to us. My son had some things that he had on his mind. I'm a woman. I really am not equipped to help him in what he is dealing with. I can deal with the surface items, sure. But as a young man, he needs a black man to be able to give him that foundation of what he needs. It's not just enough just to have one person. We need a community. We need a tribe. We need a group. We need to buy black, you know, be black, the whole thing.